Memory is a house. In it are rooms, doors, and windows. In our memories, like in our homes, there are objects, artifacts, things new and old that we use, that evoke feelings, that bring back moments. In the open or in drawers or closets, some delight and bring laughter. Others evoke tears or anger. They tell us stories and give us back moments, conversations, even identity. One object can bring us back to a time, to a place, to a scent or a taste, to joy or anger, to disappointment or accomplishment. A tiny object can give us large memories, a voice, a journey back to that moment when Yizkor is an invitation to walk into the house of memory. Open the door with me. Enter. Look around. What do you see every day? What caught your eye recently that you hadn't noticed in a long time? Is it what you were looking for? Or is it that thing out in the open that you've walked by countless times? Maybe it was an object out of sight. Something really big and important that marks a momentous occasion, or an ordinary one. A kitchen tool or something on the shelf that just is utterly ordinary but brings you back. And suddenly you're somewhere else, at some other time with some other people. When we walk into the house of memory, each of us sees different things. We walk into different rooms. And in those rooms, on the shelves or the tables and the drawers or on the walls, well, what do we see? One thing leads to another. Someone else's treasure may spark a thought to our own. On the living room wall, there's that picture of Grandpa, painted by his friend, the French painter, who fled Europe during the war. Those books on the shelf, in how many volumes is page 50 circled? Because that's what your father did when he read them. That cozy chair where grandmother sat down after a long day of feeding people she loved. That needlepoint. How many hours did Mom spend with those tiny, tiny, precise stitches? The samovar on the mantle. Remember your great-grandmother's pride when she could afford it? In the desk drawer lies Dad's synagogue holiday ushering badge. He wore this proudly as he greeted at the door on Shabbat and holidays. Grandpa's World War II medals tell of his courageous service. Enter the kitchen. See the catering apron and the cooking tools? Imagine them in her hands. How many meals did she make for people over half a century? That wooden bowl, how much gefilte fish did it make? The exquisitely crafted sterling flatware that came out for holidays only came out of that wooden box. Mother's brass candlesticks. Can you see her striking the match each week when you do the same? How about those recipe cards written in that beautiful, precise hand, print so small we can barely read it? Those recipes for brisket, strawberry pie, matzo balls, the things everyone loved and the things people pretended with a smile. Round the corner into the dining room, see the teacup collection, delicate porcelain of another time. It's on the shelf near the crystal. The dining room table and chairs bear nicks and scratches of 70 years of family meals. When you look at your own children in those seats, Can you see the generations that came before them, their namesakes? The tablecloths that were a wedding gift, the Hanukkah menorah on the shelf, the one you purchased in Jerusalem decades ago. Here's the den. That shofar. For 30 years, he called out the new year with a clear, crystal clear sound. Now it sits longingly in a stand, tears amidst tekiah echoes. On the table, a son's camp memories. They stand bright and loud, defying his young death. And grandparents' wedding pictures, strikingly stunning in black and white. Nani's paintbrushes in that cup, evoking her graceful brush strokes of love and pride. Walk upstairs into the bedroom. On the dresser is Mom's signature lipstick. It's sitting there longingly, waiting for her. She never left the house without it. Grandma's pearls, Grandpa's cufflinks. The passport from your oh-so-young grandparents, together. They did that then, 2 in 1 photo. On the wall, there's that photograph of you as a young child, another from your wedding, surrounded by parents. That brings tears. How about that chair in the corner? Remember who it belonged to first and her story? On the edge of the dresser is your dad's chai necklace, the one you now wear. There's Grammy's bracelet, still shiny despite the tears that cloud your eyes. A mother's wedding band, a sapphire ring. A child's step stool bearing his name which was your dad's. In the closet, catch a glimpse of that dressing gown, a favorite dress, a vintage coat. Remember trying them on as a child? Dad's suspenders. You pulled them out a few weeks ago to help a client. His pants were falling down. And his ties. Many of them. See that jewel-toned scarf your college friend brought back for you from Italy. Or the tennis racket in the corner that your longtime doubles partner swung that mean backhand with, the grip now worn and longing for someone to hold it. Way back there is that puppet. It brings you back to the refrigerator box stage with your partner in stories in elementary school. On the back shelf are the tiny baby clothes for the child who never wore them. The necklace Grandma wore every day that gives you strength and elegance each time you fasten it on. On a desk in the office, there's that heavy marble desk set. It speaks to presence. Perhaps the statement your father wanted to make when people entered his office. And tucked away in the desk, an elegantly penned copy of the Traveler's Prayer with Hebrew and Spanish. It was written and given to you as you moved to Israel. There are letters in Old German or flowing English cursive. You know, that script that was taught some years ago? A husband's guitars standing in the corner, awaiting his skilled hands. A computer filled with family history waiting to be unlocked. A pen that crafted how many words. And that Nikon camera that Dad gave you as a teen to share his favorite hobby. Now it sits quietly on the shelf next to boxes and boxes and boxes of photos. We keep walking. We walk and walk through the house of memory. The hallways, the rooms, the cabinets, even the back of the door. Some rooms are inviting and call us in. Others are crowded and overwhelming. We keep walking. In a house of brick and mortar, we look outside through the windows. With memory, the artifacts of our love, our challenges, and our relationships, well, those items are the windows. They give us a view looking back, of you to moments we've forgotten. They bring light to look at our history and ourselves again. Walking through the house of memory, we gain a new vantage through those windows. We see it. We find out. We consider. Maybe even we gain understanding. We remember. Yizkor opens the door to the house of memory. We walk in and look. What do you see? Keep walking through the house of memory in our mind's eye. We reflect on the power of the generations as we hear the words Vador, Vador.
Vador, 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 nagid od lecha, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. Adonai